Hello everyone, the name is Michael O'Rourke. I live in the most beautiful city, Cape Town in South Africa. I wanted to create a very short video just to introduce myself properly and to share with you what my purpose currently is, because sometimes that can change. But I wanted to share what I do in this world and what I can offer. It took me many years to realize that I didn't belong in the jobs that I'd previously done, and through my own personal journey of transformation, I realized that my purpose was in the world of healing, helping others to transform, helping others to get to a place of peace and progress along their own journey of self-reflection and transformation. So whatever that may be for each individual, just to create a space and some structure to that seeking of peace and happiness. So what does that really mean? It means I work in the space of mindfulness, yoga, meditation, and overall holistic healing from an emotional and accepting oneself point of view. So those are the areas of work that I do. I teach yoga. I'm a qualified yoga instructor. I also have done a degree, Bachelor of Applied Social Science, majoring in psychology and counseling. And I use those trainings, the yoga and the psychology counseling, I use them in an integrated way to help people release pain and trauma and to find joy and peace. So in addition to teaching yoga in studios, and now because of current times with the coronavirus, teaching online, which is something new to me, and I'll talk a little bit about that just now. But in addition to teaching yoga classes, I also offer one-on-one interactions with people that are struggling with anxiety, depression, perhaps addiction recovery, and we use the wonderful science of yoga and breath work and meditation together with basic counseling techniques, just holding a safe space, being here to hear and feel with you your personal struggles, and together using those techniques we're able to hopefully free ourselves from the emotion and trauma that perhaps is holding us back from finding peace and joy and love. From a corporate point of view, I work with corporates firstly just to introduce mindfulness practices, because I strongly believe that they are so beneficial to everyone, and particularly in a workspace where stress levels are very high. Teaching employees to be able to practice breathing exercises, basic movements that will be able to relieve them of some of that stress. In addition, practicing mindfulness on a regular basis introduces a whole new lens to which you are able to view your life, and slowly get to a point where happiness is not something that you look for externally, but look internally to find happiness. So mindfulness has that long-term effect if practiced regularly. I also help corporates with team building, so a healthy alternative to team building, mindfulness-based team building, where we do various fun activities, including yoga and a variety of really powerful breathing exercises. So in today's world, team building doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional sort of party type of activity where a lot of people feel excluded or don't consume the types of foods and alcohol that traditionally finds its way into team building. So it's a healthy alternative. In addition, I work with leadership within the corporate world to introduce a concept called mindfulness-based leadership. And really that is just taking the practice of mindfulness to another level, to a level where those in authority, those that make decisions, those that have teams beneath them, are able to be more aware of how they interact, how their communication, how their energy, how their ways of interacting can deeply affect those around them. In addition, the leadership gain new levels of clarity and insight and develop their own sense of intuition, a stronger sense of intuition through the mindfulness practices. And lastly, within the corporate space, I also offer a service where I deal with individuals within the corporate environment that are really struggling with stress levels or struggling to cope in general. So perhaps there are people that have been booked off work with burnout, or are still at work but are struggling to cope, and I can work with those individuals through the same techniques as I would with an individual outside of the workplace, integrating mindfulness practices with my psychology and counseling training to help them come back, build themselves up to full strength again. And when they come back, they will have additional tools at their disposal. They will be able to manage stress in the future in a different way, in a more effective way. So in a summary, those are the various offerings that I have, and I hope that some of those are services that you may need, and if so, you're able to communicate with me via whatever platform you find this video on, whether that's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. You'll be able to communicate with me directly from this video. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the fact that many of us are now having to provide our services remotely via online platforms rather than face-to-face as a result of the current coronavirus that has introduced social distancing, isolation, which is the right thing to do. And so we will, until things have improved or until it's safe again, we will continue to provide services remotely rather than face-to-face. What this has meant for many of us in this industry is that our income has totally stopped, because mostly our revenue came from teaching classes face to face, engaging with corporates in their environment. So many of us have now not got any source of income. So I'll be posting various videos on various platforms, and within those platforms I will include details where you can make a donation if you feel that you want to. There's certainly no obligation. Simply me being able to help people is reward in itself. But if you would like to make a donation, the details will be there. If you are a South African resident, it would be simply making an EFT deposit, and the bank account details will be on the posts somewhere. If you're a non-South African resident, I think the easiest way would be a PayPal deposit, which I'll also include the details within the comments or somewhere on the social media site. So that is me introducing myself. The other videos I'll post will be specific meditations, classes, perhaps just brief inspirational messages to help us through difficult times. And the more I get feedback and the more I get interaction, the more I'll know what type of content to post. So thanking you for listening, and I hope to connect with you in some way in the future. Namaste.